how's it going? This is Amy. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome to. This is Book Talk Tuesday. Wow. Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties last week, so hopefully today it works out. Because if it doesn't, you won't be seeing this anyway. So, yeah. So, welcome back. It's a new week. Hope you had a good Valentine's. I did. My sister came for a visit. We had a nice dinner and watched a movie, and it was cool. Got my coffee, my book cup. Yeah. And yeah, so anyway, we had some technical difficulties with the audio. I did a whole video. Well, I didn't do one on Thursday, but Tuesday we had some problems. And I was editing and realized half the video didn't have audio. So I was going to do it over, but then I was like, forget it. Just, it was going downhill. So I didn't want to get any more frustrated than I was. So we just waited till we calmed down, and that's today, Tuesday, the February 18th. Uh-huh. Yeah. So that's how it's been going. It's been raining off and on. It's supposed to be sunny here today. Let's do the short weather update, which is, I think this Friday is supposed to be like 70 degrees. Oof. And go straight from the heater to the air conditioner. Um but yeah, it is currently got started a little later this morning, but it's 53 um, Fahrenheit if you live somewhere where you do Celsius. I don't know what that is. Um, I would have to Google to calculate, but you can Google. Go ahead. Um, yeah, it's supposed to be 65 today. Tomorrow's supposed to have some rain, and then Monday is 72. So, short weather update. That's fun. That's fun. Okay, we're back. Maybe. I hope the video works out. It says it's working. So we'll see. I got my coffee. It's just the Black Rifle, um, the pirate, Blackbeard, somebody. I'll pop it up. It's a pirate. Feel like a pirate. I just don't have a patch. Just don't want to pillage sometimes. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. We're here today. Book Talk Tuesday. What I attempted to do last week, we're going to do again. We're going to try it again today. And I have a small book haul that I got from Goodwill. And then I have a small library haul that I borrowed from the library. I didn't buy them I borrowed them from the library. So yeah, so we're going to try that. So let's just get right on into it. Um, so I got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books from, Goodwill I bought, and 2 of them, well, 3 of them really, but, the 2 I bought and I didn't realize I had it, which is so frustrating. But it's the Rizzoli and Isles series. So the other 2 copies I have that I had of this that I didn't remember, I'm gonna donate it to the library sale because I mean, they're from Goodwill. They didn't pay very much for these, so I'm not totally crying about it. But I'm crying about it because I couldn't remember that I had them. Because I have the first 2, so there's one I think one in between here I don't have, or I have one, and then there's another one in between here. So this is the Rizzoli and Isles. It was a TV series, but this is by Tess Gerritsen. That's how I pronounce her name. It's a cop. Rizzoli is the detective, and Isles is a medical examiner, and so they have, you know, adventures in the murdery kind. But yeah, I really loved the TV series. Me and my sister both love the TV series. It's not on anymore. But I started reading the books and I really liked them. I think I got through the first. I know I got through the first one, and I'm thinking I did the second one, but I can't remember. So I'll probably start over with the. I'll probably start completely over because it's been a long time since I read the first one. So I'm trying to collect more of these. I want to read more of these this year, this series, because I really enjoy it and I miss the TV show. But anyway, so I got those two, the Goodwill, and then I had seen this from a booktuber. Um, I had seen this author on other booktubers, but I've never read anything by this author. It's Joe Nesbo, and this is The Snowman. This is also a series. It's a Inspector Harry Hole series, and I think it's set in shoot. Okay, we're gonna go for a wild uh, uh, mapping here, and it's gonna be a Northern European. I- I'm not sure. Um, I haven't read anything by this author again, but it seemed I've seen it go. This author's other booktubers have read, and they really like the series, and so gotta pause because the dogs have came in. Okay, I'm back. It says I have audio. Okay, so Joe Nesbo, The Snowman. I think this is number 6 or 7 in the series. Um, it's number 7. So there's like at this time I got this book. I said there's 10 books in the series. It sounds very interesting. It's about this kid who discovers his mother has disappeared, and the only trace of her that's there is a pink scarf that was his Christmas gift to her, and it's around. It's now being worn around the snowman out in front of their house. So anyway, yeah, but I want to start with the beginning, so I'll probably look for the first book in the series, and yeah, it says it's now a major motion picture. Um, but anyway, I'm just going with Northern Europe because I want to say Norway, Sweden, Finland, but I don't really know. Anyway, and then this one, I had a copy of this book, but I seen it was in hardback at Goodwill, and so I wanted the hardback over the paperback I had, so the paperback's going to get donated to the library sale. But this is Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. I had read Razorblade Tears, and I really, really like that. So I know I really enjoy his writing, and it's just very graphic and gritty and just all around great. I'm already a fan of S.A. Cosby, and I know he has a new one coming out this year. I don't know if it's out yet, but he should have I think a new one I heard is coming out. So this is a guy who is his name is Bug Montag, Beauregard Bug Montag. He's a mechanic, husband, dad, and he has a past, a criminal past, it sounds like. And then he's kind of went on the straight and narrow, but he's having he's down on his luck, and he's getting drawn back into this life, um, that he had. Um, but yeah, so it's just the Razorblade Tears one I read had to do with two dads. Their sons were murdered, and their background was they had a criminal background also, and they got out, and they were trying to go on the straight and narrow. And anyway, it's kind of the same theme, but a little different. But I heard good things about this one too. So when I seen it was hardback, I definitely wanted it. Plus, I like this cover. I really like this cover. It's given me like I don't know. It's giving me like 70s vibes, but I don't think it's not set in the 70s. I think it's a current, has to be a current modern day. Anyway, got that one. And then the last one I got, this one I had actually got a copy from the library when I went to pick up my library books. It was on one of the tables sitting out as far as new books in, and this came out at the end of last year. It's a James Patterson. And so when I went to the Goodwill after the library, I found that they actually had a first edition hardback of this at Goodwill, so I bought it. So I'm taking obviously the one back to the library early, but this is Eruption by James Patterson and Michael Crichton, who wrote Jurassic Park and some other things. But he's passed away. But he started writing. Michael Crichton started writing this story, and then I don't know what happened with the story, but he passed away, and then his wife, it says, had kept his notes and everything like that in the partial manuscript until she said she found the right author to complete it. And that was James Patterson. And I want to say James and Michael were friends. And so it was just, I think, something that was uh, natural for, I think, her to give over to him. So I don't know how much of the manuscript he wrote. But anyway, the inside of this cover. So it's about it says history-making eruption is about to destroy the Big Island of Hawaii. Well, that got me right there when I heard about this book because I lived on the Big Island of Hawaii for a couple of years. I went to school there and college. And so yeah, so right away I was like, oh yeah, it's first of all it's James Patterson and it's Hawaii. I, two favorite things. And it says and the US military has made a terrible mistake that could mean the end of life as we know it. So I'm like, I'm scared at the same time because I don't want him to destroy Hawaii. But yeah, just this picture alone on the inside of the cover, I would have bought this book for just this map, this picture of Hawaii. It's just, and they have it on the back too, but the other side. But yeah, so you can't see it very good. But yeah, just this inside cover alone is just like, oh, I love this. I love this picture. So Hilo, yeah, is right here. And this is the west side east side. So if you look at this, this is across this Hawaii, Hilo is almost directly straight across from the capital of Mexico, Mexico City. Yeah. So it's that far down in the Pacific from California. And if you go over this way in the ocean, you're going to eventually run into Australia way over here. But yeah, so that's a map of the Big Island. And this is Kilauea is right in here, and the volcano lava that you hear about a lot is right here. Anywho, this is Eruption by Michael Crichton and James, it's a glare, James Patterson. And there's a volcano right there. So it's interesting. It's going to have a modern day take on probably, um, the military doing testing and experiments. And I don't think there's any dinosaurs in this one. But anyway, so yeah, I got this. I was excited about that. That always happens when I go to pick up library books and then I go to Goodwill. Usually I will find one that I just borrow from the library. But anywho, so that is the book haul from Goodwill that I have, and then the next is the library haul borrow. So I did get on my February TBR, which no hasn't been going well. Minnie, oh Minnie, shh, shh, Min, Min. Okay, we got a lot going on, so we got to hurry. These two I had put on my February TBR, and I couldn't choose between the two, so I kept them both. And they're both by Barbara Tushman, author, and this is nonfiction. It's about World War One. So one of my prompts I drew for my February TBR was World War One setting. So I went with a nonfiction. So this is the Guns of August. It's the outbreak of World War One, and this is the Zimmerman telegram, which is America enters the war, 1917 to 1918. And this is she has written a series. So I think the other one in the series is a trilogy. It's a continuation of World War One. Is the Proud Tower. So there's actually three of these she's written, it looks like, about World War One. But I was really interested in the Zimmerman telegram. It's just about a plot, um, let's see, by Germany, who sent a telegram to Mexico, ha- telling them, inviting the Mexican president of Mexico to invite him to join Germany and Japan in the invasion of the United States. So this is nonfiction, so it's true. It's like a real thing that happened, if you're unaware. But so this telegram was sent, and the Allies intercepted it, and then they decoded it, and they found out that Germany was going in with plans with Japan and wanted Mexico to get involved and invade the United States during World War One, which is 1917. We entered in 17. It ended in 18, but the war the war started in Europe in 1914. Anyway, so these two I couldn't pick, so I thought this is a small book, and then I'll go ahead and read this one too. So yeah, so those are nonfiction that I borrowed from the library, and the next one I had originally put on hold at the library, because I thought, well, this might be interesting. I didn't realize how big a book it was. Um, I don't know why. I didn't know why. I don't know why I didn't. This was a movie, and I also it's by Stephen King. It's a Stephen King book. I don't know why I didn't think it was going to be a huge book. I just didn't think to look it up or see how big it was. But I think I had watched this movie. It's been a long time, so I don't even remember. But this is Insomnia by Stephen King, and it is a chunker. I didn't realize when I put this on hold. This is an old picture of Stephen too. He didn't have his gray hair yet. Um, but yeah, I thought I have problems with insomnia myself, so I thought this will be a fun read at night when you can't sleep. Just read this. It's got the perfect title. So yeah, so this is well, it's Stephen King. I love Stephen King. I love uh the movies that's um the books that turned into movies. I love the movies, the TV shows everything he's done. I really like Stephen King. He's one of my faves. He's in my top 5, I think. But yeah, Insomnia, that is so it's about this guy. Obviously he probably has trouble sleeping. Ralph Roberts has a problem. He isn't sleeping so well these days. Aren't we all? Um in fact, he's hardly sleeping at all. Each morning, the news conveyed by the news conveyed by the bedside clock is a little worse. 3:15, 3:02, 2:45, 2:15. The books call in premature waking. The books call the books call it premature waking. Parentheses. Ralph, who is still learning to be a widower, calls it a season in hell. Well, when you can't sleep and you really want to, I understand. Um, he's begun to notice a strangeness in his familiar surroundings, to experience visual phenomenon that he can't quite believe are hallucinations. Soon, Ralph thinks he won't be sleeping at all, and what then? A problem, yes, though perhaps not so uncommon, you might say, but Ralph has lived in his entire life in Derry, Maine. So Derry, Maine, Stephen has set several well, the big one was It, which we know of the homicidal clown. Okay? And Derry isn't like other places, as millions of Stephen King readers will gladly testify they remember It, also set in Derry, and know there's a mean streak running through this small New England city. Yeah, so we're just gonna leave it there. But yeah, I'm excited to always get to read any book I get. This is gonna be really interesting to see how long it's going to take me for one, because it's taken me a while for the February TBR. Haven't had a good reading month, but I did finish one. But the last book from the library, this was a impromptu borrow too. I seen it on the table and it was interesting. It's February, so here in the States we have President's Day, and the President's Day is Lincoln and Washington's birthdays. So this one I seen and I thought this is interesting because I haven't really heard anything about this. I might have when I was in college, but I don't remember anything about it. But this is Lincoln in California. So this is set during the Civil War, and it says the president, the war, and the Golden State. And it's not that long of a book, but it's basically about so the ties that bound Abraham Lincoln to California and California to Lincoln have long been overlooked by historians. Although the great Civil War president has been the subject of thousands of books, his important relationship with the Western state, both before and during the war, the part it played in bringing on the great conflict, and the help it gave him in winning it, have been little described and imperfectly understood. In Lincoln in California, Brian McGinty explains a relationship between the president and the Golden State, describing important events that took place in California and elsewhere during Lincoln's lifetime. He includes the histories of Lincoln's close friends, and personal acquaintances who made history as they went to California, lived there, and helped to keep it part of the imperiled Union. Says McGinty demonstrates that California was in a large part responsible for beginning the Civil War. I don't know if I agree with that now because I haven't read it, but you want to blame everything on California. But joke. Um, so put it responsible. So as the principal purpose of its conquest in the Mexican War was to acquire land into which the southern states could extend their cotton growing and slave holding empire. The decision of California's first voters to exclude slavery from the state, but to enact racist legislation, encouraged Southerners en- encouraged Southerners hoped that if they established a separate republic, it would become an independent slave nation with the power to extend its territory to the Pacific coast of North America and into the Caribbean and Latin America. Anyway, Lincoln and California. Also a nonfiction. So I have a couple of nonfictions. And then I still have From Cradle to Grave is a nonfiction true crime one that's from my January. So I don't know what I'm going to be picking for my February or my March TBR. I'm not going to probably pick the 6 because I have way too many books still to read, and I might pick like anywhere from 2 to 4 keep it keep it going. But anyway, so that's my book haul from the library and Goodwill purchase. So yeah, so hopefully this video has worked out, and we'll see you back here on Thursday if you cross your fingers and have high hopes. I hope I'll have finished something else. I have finished, I will say, I did finish The Girl in the Ice by Robert Brenza. I love this book. I love this book. I'll do a full review of it later, but yeah, this is a police procedural. This has to do with a detective, Erica Foster. Detective Erica Foster. This is a British detective series. So it is a series. So I'm anxious to get the second book because I really enjoyed this one. I really like the character of the detective Eric Foster. And I'm not sure where in England it's set exactly, but yeah, it's just a good detective thriller um, novel that I really enjoyed. I read this pretty fast. It was probably 3 or 4 days it took me, but yeah, it was a good one. So I did finish this one, and I am starting this one. It's just a little shorty. It's called A Book Shot. It's by James Patterson. It's the Woman's Murder Club, the medical examiner. So he has these little book shots he's done, um, and they're under 200 pages. This one is, I think it was 125 pages. So it's really short. So I thought, you know what? I'm kind of in a reading slump. Not that I'm not interested in reading anything. It's just I've had other things to do and I haven't really just sat down and read for a few hours at night. So we're gonna give this shorty a shot, and it shouldn't take too long. I should be able to read it in one night. It's only 125 pages, but yeah. So this is a little thriller one, and it says a rich woman checks into a hotel room and entertains a man who is not her husband. A shooter blows away the lover and wounds the millionairess, leaving her for dead. Is it the perfect case for the Women's Murder Club or just the most twisted? So, The Women's Murder Club is a series by James Patterson. There's a detective, a medical examiner, a reporter, and a district assistant district attorney, I think, is the women. They form this little so called club and solve mysteries. One is a cop. Yeah. So one is and it's based in San Francisco. So I love this series by James Patterson. It was one of my, not the first book I read, but soon after the first series I read from James Patterson was the Alex Cross series. and I just loved that series. And then the next series from him that I read was The Women's Murder Club, and I am so behind in my Women's Murder Club series. I don't know how far I've gotten. I kind of want to start it all over, but they have like I think he has 24 24 books, maybe more, maybe a little more, because he has like some in between, like 23, and they're named after the numbers. So there's the first to die, second, whatever, third, fourth, fifth. It's titled like that. But these are little book shots. Uh-oh. Oh no. Well, I think it was just that was my bookmark. Um, so they're just little shorties and quick read, and I thought that might get me out of this little slump. Just read a short one. Anyway, so that's that. That's a reading update. And you, like I said, hopefully be back here on Thursday. Hopefully this video works out and you're watching it. So yeah, have a good rest of your week, and hope you're having some nice weather. Okay, thanks. Bye.